The only other question I have before I head off for today is is about the actual security team that Meghan and Harry have put together. Now, according to the TMZ report I heard earlier today, it sounds like Meghan and Harry um, it sounds like Meghan and Harry had a team of about, or what is the word, a caravan, or like a, not a caravan, but what do you call it when you have all these cars together? It's like a, whatever. It's just a word for it in English. Oh my God. Ah. Um, well, let's go with caravan, but it's not the right word. They had a caravan of cars in, or fleet, whatever, and they were about 3 or 4 cars that were with Meghan and Harry. Meghan and Harry were together with Doria in one car, and then behind them, I think there were 2 security cars behind them. So there were 3 cars in their fleet, 3 black cars. And then there were all these other cars, which apparently belonged to Backgrid and, other paparazzi groups, individuals on scooters, whatever. Total mayhem, total madness. Okay, no problem. Now, at some point, they were advised to leave the car because it was now compromised. It was identified. The paparazzi knew the car. They knew the that little thing you have in the back of the car. What is that called again? Oh my God. Oh gosh, in the back of the car where you have your number, your license plate. So they had the license plate. There was no point in continuing on with these cars, we're told. And so they go off to this precinct and then they switch to a cab. And I'm assuming that they still had their 2 security cars with them, right? And I'm assuming also that that cab had a number. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a driver, okay? I live in Paris. I walk everywhere. I don't drive, okay? I don't drive. But I believe all cars have a license plate and all cabbies have some extra number as well. Correct? Okay. So now you switch into this car and you drive off and you think the cab, you switch into the cab and you think the cab is going to blend in with all the other yellow cabs on the road. And now it's going to be impossible for the paparazzi to find you, right? Which to me sounds like a good idea, right? This should have worked. And yet it did not work. The paparazzi never lost you for a second, even though you are in a yellow cab that is indistinguishable from all the other cabs on the streets. It suggests a couple of different things. One is that the paparazzi never lost you, even with the 2 police cars. So when you went back to the precinct, they followed you there and just waited for you to go into a cab, which in that case did not make any sense for your security to advise you to do that, because I'm sure they could plainly see that they were still surrounded by paparazzi. Okay, so I would have to eliminate that, because I don't see how you're paying $2 million a year for a security team who would have advised you to get into this cab when they could clearly see that paparazzi was still surrounding you. So the next option for me, unfortunately, that I have to draw, the next conclusion is, and there may be other conclusions that I'm not seeing at the moment, but for the moment, I'm wondering about your security team itself. And I think I hinted at that from the very beginning. Did your security team effectively reduce tensions, or could they have inadvertently or intentionally increased tensions? Because if they are with you and they know you got into this cab, which should have been indistinguishable, and there was no paparazzi around, and yet you drove off from the precinct, and still the paparazzi found you so easily to the point that it sounds like you had to return to the precinct, then it says that the paparazzi was tipped off. And the paparazzi seems to be organized paparazzi, because you're talking about Backgrid. So it means that it's a centralized place where these photographers are coming from, Backgrid. And so everyone on your security team would be aware of Backgrid. I'm not aware of Backgrid. I've never heard about it until now, right? This is my first time, right? But it suggests to me that if Backgrid has all this footage and all of these people are with Backgrid, then it means that your security team also know Backgrid and have contact details for Backgrid, right? So it would be easy for someone on your team to inform Backgrid of which cab you're in. Now, I'm not saying that they did that. Be very, very clear. I'm not suggesting that anybody on your team did that. I'm simply asking whether that could remotely be possible. Because again, everybody is in this for the money. It's about the entertainment. It's about the chaos. It's about the drama. And the more of that you bring, the more money you make. Plus bonuses. Plus bonuses. So my question would be, if I'm in your place the morning after, is I'm looking at my security team. Kim Kardashian does that all the time. I mean, she had to fire her security team after she was attacked in Paris. Think about it. Again, be very clear. I am not making any accusations here. I am only raising questions, Meghan and Harry, for your own security. Are you surrounded by the right people? Did everyone in your security team act according to appropriate protocols under the circumstances? How did the paparazzi know which cab you were in? Why was the paparazzi able to get all over you when you had two cars of your own private security for which you pay premium dollars following right behind you? This sounds, why were all three of you in the same car? And it sounds like you were not wearing seat belts. This isn't even conceivable to me, that you're in a high speed or even a 30-mile-an-hour speed car chase without seatbelts. I mean, that's clearly not even possible given the circumstances. But why did they allow all three of you in the same car? You know, I think you guys have to ask some very serious questions here, because it's very important that you have the right people around you. You have young children. Again, for the third time, I'm not accusing anybody of any wrongdoing in this particular situation. I'm simply saying you need to do a thorough internal investigation because there was some kind of a breach.